Hi everyone, this is Joseph from English with Joseph, here again to talk to you about English grammar. Today I would like to spend a few moments talking to you about the differences between British grammar and American grammar. Now, for those of you who are learning the language, you would think, well, surely it's the same, because it's the same language. Actually, it's not. It may be compared to perhaps South American Spanish and European Spanish. That is Castellano and Spanish. There is a big difference. And today we're going to look at a few of those grammatical differences. So let's begin. One of the first differences which you will notice if you speak to any Americans for any great length of time is their love for the past tense. Here in the UK, it would be quite normal to hear someone say, for example, "Where's John? John has gone to see his friends." "Where's Mary? Oh, Mary's feeling sick. She has eaten too much." "Where's Fred? Oh, Fred had a phone call and he has gone to meet his boss." Americans generally don't like the present or past perfect. They much prefer the good old simple past tense. "Where's John? Oh, he ate too much." "Where's James? Oh, he went to meet his boss." "Where's Mary? Oh, she's gone shopping," is the British answer. "She went shopping" would be the American answer, because they rather prefer the simple past. "I can't find my t-shirt. Have you seen it anywhere?" It's another a British example for something that you can't find, maybe something that you've lost. And the American way of saying that is, "Did you see it anywhere?" rather than "Have you seen it?" So you can see there's quite a sharp difference in the way that they form their grammar between the past simple and the British way, which would use the past and present perfect tenses. You can also hear big differences in sentences like, "Can I borrow your shoes?" "No, I didn't wear them yet." "Do you play the piano?" "No, I didn't learn it yet." So you can see that the past is something quite big for Americans, whereby we would say, "Do you play the piano?" "No, I haven't learned it yet." "Can I borrow your shoes?" "No, I haven't worn them yet." So there's a big difference with the simple tense, the past simple, which is rather favoured by Americans against our own present and past perfect tenses. Some of these differences are quite subtle. If you compare, for example, "Where's Mum?" "Oh, she's just left." That would be implying that Mum has just left. She has just left. In America, "Where's Mum?" Or I suppose they would call her Mom. "Oh, she just left." So it's not that she's just left, as in she has just left, it's just she just left. Okay, again, the emphasis really is on the more direct, simple past approach. There also can be big differences when talking about collective groups of people. Let me give you an example. Let's say we were talking about a team of people, a union of people, perhaps a classroom of students. You might refer to that classroom and the people in it as a class. So you would say, which class is best? In English, you can say which class are best, or which class is best. Which team is winning? Which team are winning? You can use either. In American English, however, it always has to be the singular. So the baseball team is always winning. But for us in the UK, that soccer team is winning, or that soccer team, the soccer team are winning. So when referring to a collective group of people, whoever they are, we can use is or are, even when referring to them as one separate entity, but in America it will always be is. I love that team who work in the cardiac arrest unit in the hospital. Aren't they wonderful? The cardiac arrest team are fantastic. In America, if it's a team, it would be the cardiac arrest team is fantastic. So you can see when referring to a group of people which have one identity, team, for example, an office, that office is fantastic. They always do their work on time. Oh, that office are fantastic. Aren't they wonderful? In America, it will always be singular. It will always be is. Another difference with Americans is the way they, as we discussed earlier, they don't like the verb have too much. You know, the verb have, which forms the present and perfect tenses. They don't generally like the word have. Let me give you an example. Let's have a holiday next week is something that you might hear British people saying. Let's have a holiday. Let's have a vacation. Let's have dinner out tonight. I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to have a bath. See you later. The American way of saying all of these things would be to take. I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to take a walk. Peculiarly, you also can hear this in different parts of the UK. In Scotland, for example, it's perhaps more common in certain parts to take things rather than to have them. But the correct English grammatical way would be to say that you're having something. Oh, I'm having dinner. I'm not taking dinner, which would be our American counterpart's way of saying it. I'm having dinner. There's many more examples that I could give, such as going on vacation, which is a very peculiarly American thing to say. I think we use it a lot in English as well now, because we've picked up a lot of Americanisms. But that's not something we would generally say. But the biggest example I want to give you now, moving on, is perhaps found in the past tense, and is to do with our spelling. You can hear it in speech as well if you listen very carefully. Let me give you an example. Last night I was sitting at home and I smelt something burning. Smelt in British English is the past tense of to smell. So I smelt something burning and I was worried. In American English, smelt with the T at the end doesn't exist. It's actually smelled, ed, which is of course our way of forming the past tense usually, but we do have certain words which end in T. I smelt is one of them. Another one is to burn. Oh, I burned some firewood last night. Would be very American with ed, but in British English it's burnt with the T, B-U-R-N-T. I burnt some firewood last night. But in American English this T at the end of the words doesn't seem to exist. So I hope that gives you some examples of how American and British English differ. It's not really serious when talking because there's such a crossover, because we watch so many American movies and TV programs now that there's a whole mishmash of grammar in the UK which is American. And I'm sure in America they've started to pick up our habits as well. So it's not quite as bad. If you listen very carefully you can hear the differences, but unless you start to analyse them, it really isn't any big problem. It poses a big problem with teaching and how you teach people, and it's something to bear in mind if ever you go to America. But I just wanted to show you that there are definite grammatical differences. Well, I hope you found that helpful. Thank you, and goodbye.